I just got off work and decided to go see my friends, the Turtles. I couldn't wait to see my beloved Leo, who just so happened to be my boyfriend for the last 5 months. It was a surprise that Leo was even interested in someone like me. I'm not pretty, I'm not strong, I tend to taunt people that I shouldn't, like Bebop and Rocksteady, which is how I met the Turtles. They saved my life after I confronted the two idiots. But despite all of that, Leo still wants to be with me. I still can't believe it. As I walk through the sewers, I can hear a faint arguing coming from the lair. That's weird. And as I walk through the door, I see my Leo and 2 of his brothers fighting over someone. Upon seeing this, I shout, "What the hell is going on here?" Master Splinter and Donnie turned to me with worried look and said in unison, "Tommy." I was just about to walk out when Master Splinter grabbed me by the shoulder.
"My dear, I assure you it is not what it appears to be."
"What, the 3 of your sons are fighting over some girl? 'Cause that's what it seems like to me." Just then Donnie chimed in.
"I don't believe they're in their right minds."
"How do you know? They look fine, minus the fighting part." Donnie continued,
"That's just it. They're fighting over Irma."
"Well, he always has." Donnie stopped me right there.
"Timmy, Leo is in love with you. You must know that."
I looked down and said, "Do I? Leo's never said, and I mean, look at me. I'm not exactly a catch." Master Splinter touched my back and said,
"Trust me, my son loves you."
"I don't know. I need some time to think."
"Of course, my dear. Take as much time as you need."
I nodded my head and walked out of the lair and headed back home to sort out my feelings. I knew I loved Leo, but I also knew I wasn't good enough for him. He could have any woman he wanted, even though he was a mutant turtle. And now, with him fighting his brothers over Irma, I felt hurt and alone. What made it worse was I knew Leo had a soft spot for Irma. But Donnie said that he thought that they were under some sort of poison or drug, and Donnie's usually never wrong about these things. But I couldn't stop thinking that Leo secretly wanted her. After an hour of dwelling on it, I fell asleep. But only for a few hours. Then I started to hear what sounded like rocks hitting my window. Annoyed, I got up from the bed and went to the window. It was there I saw him, my blue-clad turtle, the one that I had spent half the night crying over. I opened my window and waited for him to climb up. Once he got inside, I closed the window and said, "Leo, what are you doing here?" Leo looked ashamed and said,
"Came here to tell you that Donnie was right."
I interrupted him. "Right about what exactly?" I hoped Donnie was right about Leo loving me, but my hopes were dashed when he continued.
"About us being poisoned."
He sounded like that should fix everything, but I still couldn't get the earlier thoughts out of my head. Leo got a concerned look and said,
"Are you okay? Because..."
"Yes, I'm fine, Leo."
"You don't look fine. You look like you're disappointed. And have you been crying?"
My eyes started to water again, as I told Leo exactly why I was upset. "Of course I've been crying. My boyfriend was just fighting over some other girl."
"Like I said, Donnie was right. I was under the influence."
"Yeah, but I can't stop thinking that secretly he wants someone else. Maybe not Irma, but..." Leo stopped me by kissing me passionately. It took me a moment, but I eventually gave in. When we parted, Leo took my face in his hands, looked me in the eye, and said,
"I love you. No one else. Got that?"
I couldn't speak for a moment, so I just nodded. Leo pulled me into an embrace and said,
I love you so much. Don't you ever doubt that again.
I looked up at Leo with a shocked expression which made him continue.
Yes, I overheard you when you said you were ugly. And you're the most beautiful woman I've ever known.
I gave Leo a suspicious look. Even more than April? Leo looked serious and said,
To me, you are.
I grabbed the back of his neck and pulled him down for a kiss with all the love I had in my heart. Once we parted for air, I looked up at Leo and said,
I love you too.
Leo smiled one of his rare smiles down at me.
I could tell by that kiss.
Leo then picked me up, bridal style, which startled me, and I shouted, Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm putting you to bed. You need sleep.
After he laid me down on the bed, he then climbed in, and as we drifted off, I couldn't help but think how lucky I was to have him.